Also on October 12th, we have Perpetuity, Grave Descent, and this plays 1 to 5 players and takes about 45 to 120 minutes to play. And this is a worker placement game that's set in a solar system with a dying star. And this game can be played competitively, but I think it'll really shine in its cooperative and solo play. Each round in this game, the dying star is going to cause damage to different areas of the board, and it's also going to slowly destroy each of the planets in the solar system. There's different colonies on these planets, and the goal of the game is to try and rescue all these colonies. And if a planet is destroyed while there's still a colony on that planet, all players immediately lose the game. This plays exactly the same for solo play, except you're going to be playing on your own. The competitive mode does share these goals as well, but victory points are also added to the mix because players will earn different victory points for exploration, rescuing the different colonies, performing different repairs on the different areas of the board, and collecting different resources. And a cool feature of this game is that in any of those modes, a player can play as the dying star, inflicting damage throughout the solar system and trying to prevent all the other players from winning the game. And I think the whole concept of these planets slowly dying while players try to rescue the different colonies is going to add some really exciting tension where the dying star is always clipping at your heels. And at the center of the main board, we have the dying star surrounded by 4 planets, and each of those 4 planets has 4 satellites protecting that planet. If those 4 satellites are ever destroyed, then that planet is destroyed along with everything on it. And a neat aspect of this board is that it actually rotates, and this is going to change where the planets are located. And this is also going to dictate which planets are within proximity of some different outer space locations, because if we zoom out on this board, there's actually 4 different boards that are in the peripheral space that players can perform different actions on. Each of these locations has 4 different tiles, 1 on each corner, where players can place their workers, and each of these tiles can also be upgraded, damaged, and repaired. The one we're looking at here is the space station, and players can go here to recruit more workers, build ships to transport to and from the different planets, and they can also go here to communicate with the different planets. And then there's the nebula, where players can go to collect and process fuel, and players can also conduct research here to gain different upgrades throughout the game. And then players can also go to the asteroid belt, where they can go to collect ore to build different things like outposts, which are required in order to visit planets. And then finally, there is the colonies board, and this is where players can go to collect food, search for artifacts, which can be exchanged for a number of things throughout the game. Players will have 4 turns to put their 4 workers out on the board, and players will also have 3 levels of workers, where the higher level workers are more resistant to the dangers of the solar system. And this is going to come in handy because at the end of each round, the dying star is going to damage different satellites, potentially destroying planets, but then also causing damage to the different peripheral locations around the outside of the board. When these tiles get damaged, they become more risky to use and can cause damage to your workers unless you're able to repair the tiles first. The dying star can also cause some additional effects to challenge the players that will affect things like gravity, space, time, and matter. If this one sounds interesting to you, don't forget that you can click to get notified, and I have links to all these different campaigns in the description below.